Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Oxygen Fanatic, and this is my battle and team builder for round 2 of the playoffs of the CPC D League Season 2. So this is the semi-finals, the second round, as I said before, out of 3 rounds in total. Well, 3 potential rounds, I guess, if I win. This week I'm going up against Jacko, coach of the Sootopolis Swamperts. So you can see his team right on the screen right here. And my team, my draft, which I've had all season, right here. Except for one transaction, but still, my team right here, Baltimore Braviaries. His team is Mew, M-Gallade, Weavile, Tochakis, Ferrothorn, Gudra, Jellicent, Drapion, Stunfisk, Kangaskhan, and what's that thing called? Frogadier. I was gonna say Greninja, that's not right, Mom. So, again, as last week, I'm doing the same kind of thing. Writing speed tiers and then the amount of times that he has brought it. This was, I think his 9 regular season games that he played, plus his 1 playoff game. I used that data and put in the amount of games that they've played, just to give me some stats to look at and to account for which Pokemon I think are more and less likely to come, at least based on what he likes to bring. And then also, thinking about the matchup and what I think he wants to do in the matchup, but still, this is a big part, seeing that he's brought these 3 Mons all 10 games means I think he's very likely to bring all 3 of them this game. I think they all have good matchups and really have no big reason not to come, so I expect all 3 of them to come. Tochakis, I think that's a pretty good matchup. He hasn't brought it too much, so I'm not guaranteed on this, but honestly, I could just see him bringing these top 6. He brought these top 6 to his round 1 playoff game, and I could just see him bringing the same 6. Drapion is the next, or is this the order I expect them? I think it's just like his draft order. Drapion is like the other mon I expect. Maybe Stunfisk for rocks and some support, but really, I mainly expect these 6 and maybe Drapion in there, if I'm being honest. So, let me just go over my team now. So, semifinals, here we go. So, Mega Houndoom with Dark Pulse, Flamethrower, Overheat, and Super Fang. The Super Fang is meant to chip down stuff like the Stunfisk, as well as maybe Tochakis. It's mainly meant for the Gudra, that was it. Because it can just chew a Dark Pulse if it's Assault Vest, like max HP. Dark Pulse does less than 20%, and I can't hit it really any harder. Barring a Super Fang, so that's why I'm running that mainly for the first time I hit him. And also that will allow me to scout if he's gooey or not, because gooey will guarantee giving the speed drop on any contact move, which Super Fang is. So then that'll allow me to scout, and if he's not gooey, he's most likely Sap Sipper, which I expect him to be Sap Sipper because it makes sense for, really just Celebi, but still it just makes him an even better check to Celebi. So I expect Sap Sipper, but that just allows me to scout. I don't think he has any reason to be Hydration. Unless he's some weird rain set, of course, but I don't think he'll bring that. Just my thought there. Overheat is mainly meant for the M-Gallade. That's so I can hit it really hard and check it. I do have speed, that mon, and that is really nice. And barring any passing, which I don't, barring any speed passing, which I don't think he's any mons that get Baton Pass and then he's, well, no, okay, I guess he gets Mew. But barring any speed passing into the Gallade, my Mega Houndoom will outspeed him. The bulk is, I believe, so I can live a low kick for my life with Weavile after I take rocks. So that's just really nice. Allows me to still check that even though that thing is faster than me. And Flamethrower is just a nice stab, and so is Dark Pulse. And then Overheat also a good stab for power. And Fire Blast is bad, not running that. So, Letters to your Choice Scarf with Fly, Earthquake, U-Turn, and Stealth Rock. This is another means of checking the M-Gallade. This is quite threatened by the Weavile though, even though it's Scarf, because obviously Ice Shard is the thing. But Weavile might have some trouble bringing some moves, and might have trouble with his move slots. So let's just look at my team and what I expect from Weavile. So I think I'll definitely want Knockoff, just good stab. It's a lot of things. Celebi, this Magius, Medicham. It's just good stab. I think I want Poison Jab to hit Feeny for some coverage. I think I want Low Kick to hit Houndoom, because otherwise Houndoom, just for the most part, will always scare him out, always threaten him out, unless I'm really low. But I think I want Low Kick to move for some pretty good damage. It also allows him to hit Steel Screwguard. And then the last slot, I think some Ice move, either Ice Cold Crash or Ice Shard, depending on how likely he thinks Lando is to be Scarfed. Or maybe he just wants some extra power to hit things like Jerkology. And that's really it. He probably will bring Ice Shard. But he could also maybe bring Pursuit if he's really worried about my Miss Magius, which I really considered bringing. I did not, as you can see, but I think it was on one draft of this team at one point. But I did not bring it in the final team. Can maybe even bring Aerial for my Hariyama. So he's definitely got some choices there with the Weavile. Maybe any setup, but I don't think he will go that route. But Melando, Sub Fly is just a nice method to check the Gallade. I know it'll still take 2 turns because I'm not Flying MZ, but he's not really fly switching. Like, look at his team. No flying resist on these top 6, and his only flying resist at all is Stunfisk, which does not want to take an Earthquake, and I don't really expect Stunfisk, and still, Fly is just really easy to spam versus his team. So if things are in range and I outspeed them all, then I can still just click Fly, and if they can't really do anything in that turn when I'm in the air, then it doesn't matter. That takes 2 turns. So that's just really nice. Enough speed for the next fastest Mon, which was Togekiss, I believe. So yeah, then we got my Kabia Tapu Fini with Nature's Madness, Moonblast, Taunt, and Hidden Power Fire. So the Moonblast, or the Madness Taunt combo is a classic that I bought a lot. I really like this combo, it just works really well. But it allows me to possibly deal with a Mew depending on his speed. I'm bringing a fair amount of speed. I expect him to still outspeed me, but I'm not certain how much speed he's going to want. I've Hidden Power Fire for the Ferrothorn and the Taunt as well, to hopefully stop him from setting up hazards, and I don't know if I expect Ferrothorn. I think I had 2 mocks and I did not see it in either mock, but I still think Ferrothorn is kind of nice for hazard and nice support, and can be a decent check to Lando as well. So I think Ferro is kind of nice. I want to be able to hit it for decent damage, because otherwise Ferro is a pretty safe switch in. Kabia is meant for a variety of things, mainly the M-Gallade and the Weavile, which both could have Poison Jab, as well as the Goodra, which could have Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb, but probably Wave because of the terrain, or maybe any other poison hits that could be thrown my way. Maybe from Mew, I don't really expect that, but still just nice to have this to allow me to check the Weavile and the M-Gallade even better. Just a nice defensive check to both of those Mons. The speed is for, I want to say, like a modest max speed Togekiss, I think. I just didn't want to go 10 minutes, I didn't think I needed to, and then I forget what this exact investment was for. I think it had some kind of purpose right here with the HP, with the special attack. I think was for something. Maybe so I could 2-kill Ferrothorn with Hidden Power Fire, I think. Maybe not, actually. I forget, I'm sorry. There was some kind of purpose with the EV spread, I believe. I did this battle, like, I think still like 2 weeks ago from now, so there was more thought into it than I am explaining, but I just kind of forget some of it. So next we got my Octoberry Scissor with Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Superpower, and Default. This is a pretty nice pivot, and just a decent check to some things. It's a pretty safe switch into the Ferrothorn. That's why I am rocking the Superpower, which allows me to hit the Ferrothorn for some pretty solid damage. And I can pivot out on that and on other things. It's a decent check to the Togekiss. I can take any fire hit. A decent check and sort of switch into the Goodra, so I can take any fire hit and pivot out, and Bullet Punch got some good chip, as well as Bullet Punch is nice to allow me to get some chip on the M-Gallade, on the Weavile, and it's just nice to get damage. Default is meant there because this is kind of a switch in and check in some ways to the Ferrothorn, so I just want to be able to get rid of hazards if he wants to try to hazard stack on me, because I just don't want to get stacked on. And like, so 5 of my 6 mobs are grounded, and I just don't want him to set up spikes and be really annoying. He could also bring T-Spikes on the Drapion, which would hit still 4 of my mons, kind of Fini. Wait, I guess 3 to 4, depending on how you want to count Fini. Still kind of 4, but it's just a nice pivot. I didn't really need to put any speed in this, so pretty basic EV spread here, but this is just kind of all I need. So yeah, that's Scissor there. Next we got my Medicham holding a Cobra Berry with Toxic, Bullet Punch, Sudden Headbutt, and Drain Punch. The Cobra is meant for the Togekiss because I don't really have any good Togekiss switch-ins. Like Tapu Fini is a decent one, but that gets weakened easily, and I don't want Togekiss to be able to weaken down the Fini to the point where it can't be a decent check to the Gallade or the Weavile, so I want it to still be relatively healthy to be able to take a hit from probably only one of those, but still I want my Fini to be able to check something defensively. So this is meant so that I don't have to switch out versus the Togekiss. I'm max speed Adamant. That's just I think just to speed tie the Togekiss, in case he wants to go max speed Modest, which I don't think he will. And I don't think he'll run max speed, and I originally was like a little less speed in Adamant, but I figured I don't know how much the Togekiss is going to be running. I don't really need the additional like 24 HP investment that I had, so I figured, you know what, I'm just going to go max speed. Still the Adamants are going to hit pretty hard, and just I think I can outspeed the Togekiss, unless it's Scarf, but Toxic is meant mainly for the Mew, which is a likely switch into Bullet Punch, just nice to hit Weavile, get some more chip on the Gallade, as I said earlier, like with my Scizor. Then Headbutt and Drain Punch is just nice dual stab, get some stuff. And this spawn's pretty expendable. I don't necessarily need it. It can like take almost any hit from Goodra, barring like a Draco. So this can be a switch into Goodra if I need it to be, especially if I think he's going to predict a Fini switch in, or like a Scizor switch in and go for a Flamethrower or Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave. So this can be a decent ish check to that, and you can hit Goodra hard and just pressure some mons, pressure Togekiss, Toxic, and pressure Mew. You know, it's just a nice, not bulky pivot, but nice, nice offensive mon to allow me to pressure this team, basically. Next, we got my Celebi, the last mon on the team. A nice pivot, a very complex EV spread with a serious nature that was intentional. Leech Seed and Fire U-turn and then Headbutt holding a Colbur Berry. The Colbur is meant to check the Weavile, just an additional check to that, as that thing is a serious threat. As well as if the Gallade is running Knockoff, which I don't expect. I think we're on Ice Punch and or Poison Jab, which would be able to hit my Celebi. But in the case that he is, I can take a knockoff from Gallade, as well as a knockoff from Weavile, maybe a knockoff from Drapion if that scenario comes up. With Leech Seed's just a nice chip to hit the Togekiss and to hit Mew. If he does have Goodra, I'll need to be careful around that and not Leech Seed as he goes into that, because he could have Sap Zipper, and that would be bad for me. U-turn is just a really nice move to get some chip on things like Goodra and just pivot around things. And Power Fire not so fair, doesn't wall me. I don't want Ferrothorn setting up hazards on a lot of things. I may have overprepped a bit for Ferrothorn, but I deemed it a threat. Even though I do Founding, still I just don't want to paralyze some things. I don't want to set up hazards. It's an annoying mon, and it's a decent check on Athene. I just want to make sure I want to make sure I don't underprep for Ferrothorn, which does have a pretty exploitable quad weakness. And then Zen Headbutt is physical, well, obviously, but I'm running the physical Psychic Stab in Zen Headbutt just to hit Goodra harder, and as well as Togekiss if he decides to go especially bulky for my Houndoom, and just to hit some other things harder. And I feel like Zen is better than Psychic, because then my U-turns will be weak, and I like giving some more power to my U-turns. And then I believe this is the same speed as my Feeny, so I think I was for Togekiss. No, this is to time max speed Togekiss. This is, I think, if he was creeping, if Togekiss carries the speed that I expect him to bring, which is like creeping max speed Jolly Scizor, then I can creep that, and same with Celebi. And then I think enough special attack to like 2 KO Ferrothorn, and then enough defense to take 2 poison jabs from Gallade. That was originally when I had leftovers, I think. So I didn't adjust my EV spread, but still I have a good amount of bulk. It's just a nice mixed offensive mon, and it's pretty cool. So that's the team there. Wasn't a super short team, but not super long, so that's alright. And I'm gonna get into the battle in just a second here. Alright, so here we go with the semi-finals of the CPC D-League. If you did not watch the team builder portion, you should. That was earlier in the video. You might have just skipped ahead to the battle if you're a bad boy, but you should watch it because I explained things and it was cool. So, my team, as you can see here, is the Mega Houndoom, Landorus T, Tapu Fini, Scizor, Medicham, and Celebi. As my opponent, Jacko, decides to bring me Mega Gallade, Weavile, Mew, Goodra, Drapion, and Jellicent. So the first 4, I definitely thought were coming. Drapion I thought was fairly likely. I think definitely had a chance. Jellicent I was pretty surprised by, honestly. I just didn't think it had a great matchup, and he only brought it, I think, once the entire season. So I just did not expect Jellicent, but I figured it had a purpose. I'm expecting maybe Colbur Berry, especially if I don't see lefties. I don't really think Colbur Berry is a very likely possibility. It is a decent check to the Landos. That is nice for him. I understand that reasoning for it. So I mean, it definitely has some logic in coming. I'm not like questioning that. It's just I didn't really expect it, at least based on how many times he brought it this season. But let's just get into the game. So my lead was, I believe, Celebi. No, it's actually Medicham. It's Medicham because this is just pretty expendable, and it was honestly a fine lead versus everything. I can get off damage versus the lead. I can threaten out the Weavile. I can Toxic the Mew early and take him 1 hit. I can just pressure the Goodra, get off damage, and pressure the Drapion, and pressure the, not really pressure, but at least Toxic the Jellicent. And I was just fine leading with this, and I can just Toxic and get damage on everything, really. So that's my thought process there. So he leads Drapion, outspeeds, clicks knockoff, gets rid of my item. Doesn't really matter that I lost to Koba. No, he did not bring Togekiss, so it was doubtful to come into play, so that's fine. I click Drain Punch, which is going to put me back to enough health to where I can actually live another hit. Well, I can definitely live a knockoff, especially because it would not have the boost, but I can still have a Poison Jab down, which is really nice. So I'm just going to go for Drain Punch again and potentially knock out the Drapion here, as he's actually going to whip out the Venu, the Hydro Vortex, which is going to be able to knock me out. I believe it was slightly rolled. It was like almost guaranteed for me to kill them anyway, so it's fine. But that shows me 2 things. So 1, well, this was an easy user, obviously, and 2, that means Weavile is not an easy user, or at least if he does have a Z Crystal Weavile, which I don't think he does, then he can't use it. So that's good to know, good to note, and know. I would say that, but they both mean same thing basically in this context. So whatever. So I'm gonna bring my Houndoom here so I can scare this thing out. I expect him to keep this around because it outspeeds everything on my team, barring Houndoom and barring a Scarflando, which he doesn't know. He doesn't know yet if I'm Scarfed. I am Scarfed, but he's not a confirmation on that. So it outspeeds 3 to 4 of my mons right now. So well, potentially Celebi depending on his spread and my spread. But I'm not a super fast Celebi, so he can probably outspeed me. So I expect him to keep this thing around, and I'm just gonna go right for the Super Fang, predicting the Goodra to come in. So I'm just gonna go right for that, and I do a solid half. So I did not lose my speed, so that shows he's not Gooey, showing he's almost definitely Sap Slipper. So I'm gonna go in my Scizor, thinking there's no way he clicks a fire move here, and they could click Earthquake, Draco, Dragon Pulse, maybe Sludge Wave predicting Feeny, as he just doubles into his Drapion. I think that was predicting Feeny, so that makes some sense. So I'm fine with the scenario though. I'm just gonna stay in. He does go for knockoff and gets a crit, which is a little unfortunate, but that's alright. So I'm just gonna go for U-turn there, which is gonna be able to kill him. So it kind of sucks that I lost my Akka, and I'm kind of low now. So Scizor's not going to be doing too much in terms of taking any hits, but I can still Bullet Punch and get off chip damage, which is some things. And I believe without my item, I can actually still evade from Weavile. Although I think a knockoff plus an Ice Shard killed me. So if he has Ice Shard, that's it if he's a Life Orb. So I can't really switch in, I don't think, if I recall from the rolls, from the damage calcs correctly, but I'm not certain how to do. So I'm just going to bring my Feeny. I feel like it's the safest option versus everything. He brings a Mew. He just doubles out in a Goodra, making a very aggressive play, predicting my Houndoom to come in, which makes sense. I understand that play. I didn't have a reason, I don't think, enough of a reason to switch into Houndoom there. I didn't need to, and I could not 2-KO the Goodra anyways from that point, and I didn't want Goodra to come in and pressure my team. Granted, the terrain would have been up, still, it just, I didn't need to bring an Houndoom there, and Feeny was still at full. I can take, 1 or 2 hits from Mew. I mean, Mew's not going to be doing too much to me. I mean, that does come down to a set, but I expect a pretty bulky Mew. So I should be able to take some hits from Mew, and I can take a Psychic fairly well. And then I was just going for Moonblast, so I really scout the Mew set. If he goes right into Goodra, so that's great, so I can either knock out with another Moonblast right here, or this is in range of Dark Pulse 2-KO, so that is great. So I'm just going to click Moonblast again, so he goes right back into Mew. I can scout, this looks like max HP-ish, I think, like around max HP, like no spit F if I recall correctly. So I'm going to use a play he just made, and I'm going to take that and use that against him by me making the kind of aggressive play here by going out and Hound him now. I figure there's no way he's doubling back into Goodra here, so I'm just going to go right and Hound him on his Calm Mind. I'm just going to click Dark Pulse here. It's pretty free, pretty safe, as he just goes right back into Goodra, and I'm going to be able to 2-KO him. I think I like Flamethrower here just in case he wants to go into Weavile for some reason, but yeah. So I pick up the kill there. That's made it Houndoom's first kill of this game. And Scizor pick one up earlier versus the Drapion. That's right. So we're 5-4, looking okay. So brings in M-Gallade. So he can live any one hit, and he knows that, and he knows that I know that. And I wanted to predict him to set up, or maybe predict a switch, go for Ice Punch or something, and go for Flamethrower, in which I don't think Flamethrower was a guaranteed 2-KO, especially because he had some bulk. But Flamethrower plus Overheat definitely was. So I wanted to stay in and do that, but M-Gallade is just so useful. It's a nice check to Mew. It's a nice check to Weavile. It can help me with Jellicent, which might be Colbur, but still, it can pressure that. And just, even though I really want to stay in and predict him to predict my switch, I just can't quite do that. So I go into Celebi, make the safe plays. He does set up, so I could have just 2-KO'd him, but I still think I made the right play. Just click Ice Punch. I lived. He ended up getting a Mineral there, based on his spread, which was Adamant, and, like, I think 152 attack, if I recall correctly. It was, I think, exactly a 50-50 roll. He ended up getting Mineral. Doesn't really matter that he got Mineral, just he got under half. So, a little unfortunate for him. I mean, the damage from U-turn doesn't matter too much, but I'm still able to pivot and use Celebi later as a sack, so that could be useful. So, I'm going to bring my Lando here, so I thought this would just yell Scarf and he'd run a switch. So, it actually makes, what I think in hindsight might have been a smart play on his end, as I click U-turn predicting his switch. So I'm just going to sack my Celebi though, as he's just going to knock me out, which is fine. And I'm going to bring back in my Lando here. So, in hindsight, I think that actually was kind of a smart play on his end, but originally I really thought he'd switch, and probably Jellicent. Because, so he knows that if I'm Scarfed, so I would outspeed him, and I would not be able to kill him with Earthquake, because he was not in range yet. And if I were to go for Fly, then that would take 2 turns, he'll be able to switch on the following turn anyways. And if I was Z-Fly, then he'll be able to outspeed me and just knock me out with an Ice Punch. If it was Yachi Berry, then still take 2 turns for the Fly. So that makes some sense why he stayed in. I kind of get that. If he was thinking of fly in terms of scarf and my item and such. So that's alright though. I can still bring Orlando and threaten him out. I'm just gonna click Earthquake right here, which will be able to knock him out and just is neutral against everything else in the team. Again, and I think in 2KO Mew from this range too, so that's really nice. So I click it there. So here I'm thinking I can live anyone hit from Jellicent, unless it's some weird offensive set. Although no, at this point I know it's not, because that damage shows that it is max defense, max HP, and bold, max. So I can live anyone hit even in Ice Beam. So I'm actually just gonna stay in and click Earthquake again, maybe predicting him to possibly make a double in the Mew or something, or to maybe just click something like a Sludge Bomb, or click something predicting my Feeny, or I mean probably Feeny, but if you wanted to not, but basically not click Recover. If you wanted to do that, my Earthquake play would make sense, but he just clicks Recover, so I expect him to do the same here. So I just go right back into Feeny, and he clicks clicks Recover again. So I'm just gonna click Taunt here, either predicting him to go to Mew, and I can get off the taunt because I expect him to be faster, so this would be a good chance to taunt him now. Or if you wanted to stay in with Jellicent, I can taunt him and then Madness if on turn, and then just chip him down. So I'm just gonna click Madness right now, get off a solid half, as he goes right back into Jelly, so that's fine with me. I'm just gonna click Taunt again, I think. Yeah, I think just attacks predicting the taunt he does. Goes for Sludge Wave, which does not anything really. I just chew that thing smack via. Yeah, I go for Moonblast, get the special attack drop, which is a little unfortunate. Doesn't matter too much, I don't think, but yeah. It happened, I guess. So I'm just gonna click Moonblast, because I would have knocked out Jellicent. He's trying to keep that around. I think he's trying to look for a chance to heal his Mew and to set up on this Feeny. So I'm just gonna go for Taunt, as I actually outspeed him, which kind of shocked me. That showed that he has very little speed. I think if he was like timid and had no speed, he would outspeed me, but he was not and did not. So my top of Feeny is gonna be able to taunt him and not let it boost. So that's huge right now. So I'm just gonna click Moonblast right here, I think, or Madness. Yeah, Moonblast, which just knocked out Jellicent. He's gonna bring in the Gallade. I can take any one hit, or no. I could take a Poison Jab, I think, but he goes for the Leaf Blade. Gets a crit. Crit did not matter at all, though. He was guaranteed to kill, so, that's whatever. I'm gonna bring my Scissor here, because my thought process is, I can Bullet Punch here, and my Mega Houndoom, I think I had a chance to kill with Flamethrower, but based on the bulk it seems that he has earlier from attacks on the Gallade, he's a good amount of bulk, and Flamethrower is not at all my favorite. I could kill him with Overeat, but then Weavile could live a hit, and you could also live a hit from my Mega Houndoom, so I don't want to do that. I'm actually just going to bring in Scizor, sack it off, and click Bullet Punch, as he clicks Chain Punch, and gets back a fair amount of health. And that crit from earlier actually kind of helped me in a way, except it means that he got back less health from Drain Punch, but I believe that, well, if he didn't get the crit earlier, he might have been around, I think we'd actually been around the same health that he was at, but if I was that healthy, I think I would have not made that same play with Scizor. I'm pretty sure Drain Punch would still knock out my Scizor anyway, so I think I would have played it differently going into Orlando there, and probably just clicking Earthquake. Yeah, that was probably my play then. But I'm just gonna bring it down here, click Flamethrower to knock out the Gallade, and unless if Weavile is Sash, I can actually just Oko it and win, and that'll be great. So he goes for Loco. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to pause at the right time. He goes for Loco, showing that he's not Life Orb and not Bandit, so he could be Sashed, and I go for Flamethrower, get a crit, doesn't matter, but he's not Sashed, so I'm not sure where's the item. This could have been a Z Crystal, I guess. I guess he's just going for, maybe going for double Z Crystal with Weavile and Drapion, then just brings in Mew, dies to the Dark Pulse, and we take that home in a 2-0. So GG to Jacko, and we are moving on to the finals, baby. We're moving on, going to the Super Bowl, in a way, not really the Super Bowl, but going to the finals. That's really hype, and I don't know if I want to spoil who I am playing. I'll say I'm playing the winner of Mayo and John, so the winner of that game will play me, and that will go up. I think I'm going to be uploading these games Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I already uploaded the quarterfinals on Monday. I think this is going to go up on Wednesday, and then finals on Friday, I'm thinking. So that'll be a thing. Watch out for that. That'll be up. And thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And we're moving on to the finals. Two pretty close games in terms of differential. I think last game is definitely closer than this one, but this was still fairly close. But as I said earlier, good game to Jack. This is still a good game. I had fun building, battling. His team was scary. With Mew, M-Gallade, and Weavile, really those are just terrifying. So, but anyways, I will see you guys, not next week, but probably Friday, in 2 days, with the championship versus that person that I won't say yet, you'll see on Friday who it is against, but I'll see you guys then. Peace out.